Good morning, friends. It is Saturday, a favorite day of the week. We do not have any big, huge plans this weekend. I'm thrilled because the next couple weekends are going to be insane. Tonight we have poker. We are hosting it, so I have some cooking to do, and that's about it. We have a lot of little household chores to get done, like just little stuff that, we wanted to hang up the hanging baskets and just little stuff like that. I have cooking to do, of course, for poker tonight. Not a lot, because we eat junk food for poker. We do. Once every couple months, it's okay. I did make a cake yesterday. I will show you that. I was going to film it, but it was too chaotic because I had one of the toddlers helping me. We made it while the baby slept. And when I went to make it, I didn't realize it called for 8-inch pans, and I do not have an 8-inch springform. I have a 9-inch and 9-inch cake pans. So I went ahead and did it, and it's just a little bit thinner. It'll be fine. If it tastes good, I'll be happy, and I think it will taste good. And then if this is something I want to make in the future, if this is such a big hit, then I'll look about sourcing some 8-inch pans. That'll be on my thrift store list and stuff like that. So that's the plan right now. But the cake did come out nice. Like I said, just a little bit thin because I had a whole extra inch to work with. And it is a blueberry lemon cake. So the top layer, it's a 3-layer cake. The top layer is blueberry lemon cake. The center layer is blueberry cheesecake. And the bottom layer is the blueberry lemon cake again. And then it is frosted with a lemon cream cheese frosting. So we have to finish putting that together. All the components are made. Andrew asked for Puffin Puppies, so of course I'll make those. What else was I making, Doug? Oh, cheesesteak Stromboli. Same things I always make, because it's what we like. But
you make wings too, or no?
I was back and forth on the wings.
All right. We probably have enough food.
Yeah, I thought about making wings because I have wings in the freezer that need to be used. So I don't know. That could be a game time decision. We'll see, but. For now, I need to go get a cup of tea. And I remembered, after the fact, that when I was doing my grocery haul, I forgot to show you the tea I bought at Shady Maple. They have the best prices for the Harney & Sons loose tea. It is like $15 or $17 on Amazon and at the little tea shop. Shady Maple, they're $9. So I got 3 of the Paris, which is my favorite. Well, now Paris might be getting edged out. And then they had one called Boston. So I bought 1 tin of that to try it, and oh my word, delicious. So yeah, so now I got 2 Harney & Sons favorites. But that's what I'm going to do right now is go and have a cup of tea, and then, I don't know. I feel like I don't really need to get started cooking right away because I can't make the pizza dough for the Stromboli because it'll rise too early. And I guess I could do the Puffin Puppies and just put those in the refrigerator. I don't know. We'll see. I've got all day, so we'll figure out what we're doing. Well, friends, I think I finally have some of the website issues figured out. I don't know why it's happening, but it is. But I just realized that all the Doug's making breakfast. Hold on a second. As I was saying, now I have about 525 recipes on my website. I need to go into each one manually and change the link. Yeah. I have to go to my recipe manager. I have to grab the new link because all the links did change, to Rise and Shine recipes. But I have to grab it. Then I have to go over onto the recipe page and manually change the link. So it's going to take me a while. So I would appreciate some grace. I would appreciate some patience because I'm going crazy. So I've got 10 done. My gosh. It'll get done. It'll get done, I promise. It's going to take me a little while. I'm not going to lie. Because, I have a life too. If there is a recipe that you need that is not fixed, you can always reach out to me and I will fix it immediately for you. So just please know that. But for now, this is what I'm going to be doing for the next couple hours before I have to start cooking for poker. Okay, as I am sitting here working on the website, woohoo, 15 out of 525 done. Doug brought me some breakfast over. He made breakfast this morning. We've got our homemade bacon. That's the bacon we make from just a raw pork belly. We cure it and season it and all that good stuff. And an English muffin. That's a homemade sourdough English muffin. And then an omelet with fresh eggs from our chickens, peppers from the garden last year, and I didn't make the mozzarella. So there's my breakfast this morning. While I am working on the website and other things, Doug is installing the hooks and stuff for the ferns on the porch. And it's too high just on the hook, so we have to put some chains on it to go a little bit lower. I think this one needs to be a little bit lower, hon.
A little lower?
Just a little bit. So we're going to get that worked out and figure out where exactly we want them. And that'll be one job off of the list today. I want to show you a sign I made yesterday. I saw this on Etsy, the little saying, and it was a sign on Etsy. It was like $45. Of course, it was a little different, but I just love the saying. And I love the way that it was situated on the paper. So I just got a piece of black cardstock, got a scrap piece of white vinyl, used my Cricut, and made my own. So I'm really happy with it. It cost me about $1.25, and I like it. This is something I change with the seasons, and if it's not a season, like right now, like in May, I'll put up my patriotic stuff for Memorial Day. And that usually stays up to July for July 4th. But in this time when it's not really a season of decorating, I just like to do different sayings in here, different Bible passages, things like that. And I saw this, and I don't know, it just struck me, and I really liked it. So why not make it? Okay, so this is what I'm doing to fix the website for you guys. So I'm in what's called the Recipe Maker Manager. And this is where all my recipes are listed. There are 23 pages of 25 rows each. So what I have to do for each one is, I'm on this one, I go to the little eye icon where it says View Parent Post, and I right click, and then I hit Copy Link Address. Then I have another tab open with my website open with the editing screen up. I edit with a program called Elementor. And then, I already forget the name of the recipe. Pasta with mushroom cream sauce. So then what I have to do is I have to go find the recipe. Should be under pasta. Yes, pasta with mushroom cream sauce. And then I have to highlight that. Click on the little link thing. And then I have to backspace it out. It won't let me select the whole thing and delete it. I have to backspace it out. And then I can copy and paste the new link in and hit enter, and it works. So it takes about 30 seconds or so for each one. When I get on a really good tear, it's good. And when I'm not talking to you guys, it's good. Sometimes I have to really think about where I put recipes, but it's not too bad. So it's going to take me a while, because I have other stuff to do. I've got, homemaking chores and chicken chores and garden chores and life and cooking and all that. But I think that I will be able to have it done within a week is my hope. Doug has, like this one, I think, there it is. Doug has chemo on Wednesday, so that gives me 4 hours, give or take, to sit and do whatever I need to do. So that's what I'm doing right now.
All right. As you may or may not know, we've got a broody hen. So Jason here has some hopefully fertilized eggs.
Hopefully barred rock eggs, too.
Hopefully barred rock eggs.
So,
and
they were warm when I took them out.
all right, so there we go. So we're going to try and put these under our broody chicken. And in return for the eggs, he's getting some jelly and some relish. So,
I am super stoked about that. I will take that. Thank you. I will take that. Thank you. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Joan.
all right, and we will take the eggs.
Good luck with them.
And hopefully we'll get a chicken in a couple weeks.
Hopefully a barred, because my rooster's a barred rock.
Okay.
So hopefully, I tried going by the color of the eggs. So fingers crossed.
We'll see what happens.
All right.
Hopefully this will solve our broody hen problem. Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
Okay, here are our eggs from Jason. We are hoping they are fertilized. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark each one with an F. I would mark them with an X, but our fake eggs are marked with an X. And these honestly look just like the fake eggs.
Yeah, kind of.
So I'm just going to mark them with an F for hopefully fertilized. Just marked them a couple times. Some people use a Sharpie. Everything I read says it's best to use either a wax crayon or a pencil, so I'm going to use a pencil. This way, if she collects any other eggs from anybody else, and they do that, she will put an egg under her wing and carry it to a different place. This way we'll know which ones. When we collect eggs, when we see these, we will know not to take these. So let's go out and see what happens. Let's put them under her, and in 21 days, we may have chicks. In an ideal world, I would keep her in the grow out coop where we have her right now. But in about 3 weeks, when her babies would be hatching, if this works, she will have our new babies in, the ones that Lee is brooding for us, and they're going to need this. So we have to be a little creative here, and we're just going to put her back in here, and she's going to take up a nest box, and it's going to stink, but we got to do what we got to do. So let's see what happens. Doug's collecting her now. Grabbed 2 more eggs while we were out there today. I just love the colors. I never ever get tired of seeing them. So next on the list is installing the plant hangers on the coop. So we bought these, if you saw my 2-day vlog, we bought these out in Lancaster. They're just like wrought iron plant hangers. We're going to put one there and one right there. And we are going to hang, oops, I don't know where they went. I don't know where they went. The hanging baskets that oh, there they are. On there. I think it'll just look pretty. You know, our backyard used to be beautiful. And then it kind of turned into a working backyard between the coop and the grow out coop and all the baby toys now and the garden that keeps expanding. So it's not the oasis it used to be, but it's okay because it makes us happy. We love looking at the chickens and the garden and all that. So whatever makes you happy, you do. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. So what do you think, ladies? Do you like your new flowers? Yes? Is that a yes? Yeah, I'm sure they'd love to eat them. Oh, now she's over on this side because that's where Doug is. She's a nibby nose, man. These silver lace Wyandottes are definitely nibby noses. So he's just starting it with a awl, ice pick, whatever you want to call it. It's an awl. And then he'll just screw the screws right in, and less than 5 minutes, we have some beautiful additions to the coop. So there we go. In no time at all, we have the second one up, and Doug is going to hang the basket. And we will step back and take a look. Very nice. Very, very nice. And the chickens are like, what the heck? We want at them. Okay, first snack for poker tonight is done. Just the little puffin puppies. That's what we call them. You know, the hot dogs wrapped in dough. So these are done. I'm just going to wrap them, put them in the fridge, and then they'll get baked tonight before poker. So like I said, today is the day of getting the little things done. It's all those things that are easy and quick, but they just take time. So I have my door hanger, we talked about this when I showed you the picture, like my everyday decor. I made it about a year ago. Oh, you can't see it. It's upside down right now. But when I hang wreaths, I hang them on the outside of the door. But this, I don't want on the outside of the door. I don't want it in the weather. So we hang it on the inside door. The problem is, and as you can see here, As you can see here, we tried to use a suction cup and we tried to use a command strip, but the heat that generates between the two doors is too much for it and it comes off. So we have to come up with another thing. And I thought about one of the over the door hooks, but I honestly don't love them. So what we did, and we did this for some other, I don't know, something else. We took a command hook and we put it upside down on the back of the door. And now Doug is tying fishing line to it. And we'll hook the fishing line on here and then over the door and you won't be able to see it. So I'll show you when he gets it put up. He just measured it now and he's tying his Boy Scout knots. Because if I tied a knot, it would come undone, especially with fishing string. But he knows all those Boy Scout and camping knots. Let's hope. So this way we can just put it on the front of the door, bring the fishing string around, hook it to the hook, and voila. Well, we just have to straighten it. Oops, too big here. So I just have to mess with it and make it straight. So there we go. Perfection. Thank you, babe. Welcome. Okay, so the cake I made the other day, I think I told you, I did not have the right size pans. So they are definitely thin, but it is what it is. I mean, I think they'll still taste good. I just adjusted the baking times. The cheesecake's still in the refrigerator. So now I'm making the icing. I don't know if this is going to be enough or I might have to make like a quarter of a batch. I'm not sure yet. But in my mixer here, I have 12 ounces of cream cheese softened and 2 sticks of butter softened. It calls for unsalted butter, but then you add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So I'm just not going to add the salt. We're going to mix this until it is well combined and there's no lumps. Okay, now that that is nice and smooth, I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon-ish of lemon zest. And I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And I'm not putting the salt in because I used salted butter. But if you used unsalted, this is where you toss that in. And then we're just going to combine this. We're going to add is our powdered sugar. I'm just going to add it a little bit at a time. The recipe says 3.5 cups to 4.5 cups of powdered sugar. This was about 4 cups in the bowl. So I'm just going to add it just a little bit at a time because we don't want a powdered sugar cloud. And we want to control to see how thick we want the icing. Okay, I put the rest of the powdered sugar in. And I tasted it, and it wasn't lemony enough for me. So I took the lemon that I zested, and I cut it in half, and I used half. This is the one I didn't use. I used the juice of half a lemon and put it in, and definitely the flavor we want, definitely. But I do notice I didn't beat the butter and cream cheese well enough, and there are some chunks. So I think I'm just going to put the mixer on a medium high and let it go for a while and see if we can get some of those chunks out. Okay, the icing's still not perfect, but it's just for poker tonight. It's not like it's for a customer or anything. Actually, I'm not allowed to make this for a customer because it's got ingredients that have to be kept cold. So I am just going to take some icing. It says to spread a thin layer over the cake. I actually beat it a little too much. It's a little soft for my liking, but we're going to go with it. And we're going to put a thin layer. I don't know what they consider thin layers. I love recipes, cake recipes that say, put 3/4 of a cup of filling or of icing in between each layer. Because I'm not good at eyeballing. Yeah, I definitely beat this a little too much. It'll be fine. It's all good. Okay, so there's that. Now we're going to put our cream or our cheesecake layer on. That was fun getting it off of the off of the springform pan. Okay, there's that. It's cracked a little bit. It'll be fine. Now we're going to add another thin layer of icing on top of that. In the picture, the finished picture, the layers are pretty thin. The layers of icing, frosting, whatever you call it. Is there a difference between icing and frosting? I'm gonna have to look that up. I use them interchangeably. Okay. Now we're gonna put our last cake layer on top. And then we're gonna frost the sides and the top. I think what I'm gonna do is put the icing back in the frosting back in the mixer and put a little bit more powdered sugar in there just to give this a little bit more body. Since it is the top and the sides, it needs to really cling on. So I'm just gonna add in probably another half a cup because it did say between 3.5 and 4.5 cups, and I did 4 cups. So I do have a little wiggle room there. So that's what I'm going to do. It's a little thicker, not as thick as I'd like, but that's okay. Because it does say to put it back in the fridge. So that's what I'm going to do. It's definitely sliding a little bit. Whenever I make a recipe that I've never made before, it's always a learning experience, you know, because sometimes it can be written perfectly, but depending on the temperature, depending on a lot of things, it may not be right. Now, I'm also realizing that I probably didn't put enough icing in between the layers because I have a ton left. So I should have put more, but it kept saying a thin layer. So we'll see. It'll be fine. I'm just going to finish, get it back in the fridge so it can harden up a little bit. And then I'll probably take it out of the fridge tonight, about a half an hour before we break for dessert. Oop, not even in the shot. I'm just gonna finish icing it. Okay, I took the leftover icing and put it in this bowl, and I'm gonna put it in the fridge till it gets just a little bit firm because I wanna be able to pipe some of it. And I put the cake in the fridge also to set that icing. I'm gonna leave them in there, I don't know, about a half hour probably. But while they're doing that, I'm going to get cleaned up from the cake, and I also want to get my pizza dough started. Okay, we're going to get started on our pizza crust. I am having this recipe only because I'm almost out of flour. I need to go get flour. Normally, even though I only need part of the recipe, I would make the whole thing and freeze the other one because this pizza dough freezes beautifully, but for sake of flour, we're going to have it. So I have 1 cup of warm water in here. Now, when you're using yeast, you want your water to be between about 110 and 115. If it's not warm enough, the yeast won't bloom. If it's too warm, you're going to kill the yeast. So between 110 and 115. Then I'm going to add in my yeast. Really, I should be using 2 1/4 teaspoons. I'm just throwing a tablespoon in there. And then I'm going to throw in 1 tablespoon of sugar, and then we're going to mix this up, and we're going to let it sit for 10 minutes until it blooms. That way you know your yeast is active and ready to go. So we're just going to stir it up. And also take into account, my water was about 118, but I put it into this bowl, so it's going to cool it down immediately. It's forgiving. It doesn't have to be perfect. But I'm just going to stir this up until everything is dissolved. And we're just going to let that sit for a little bit until it blooms. Okay, as you can see, our yeast bloomed beautifully. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I am having this, remember. I have to keep telling myself I'm having it because I already screwed up once, I think. Did I put 1 tablespoon of sugar or did I put 2? Now I don't even remember. I should have rewritten the recipe, but I didn't. It's okay. So I've got that in there, and then I'm going to put in half of the flour. So I'm going to put in between like 2 1/4 and 3 cups of flour. I want to rewrite this recipe to make it into grams because I just love weighing stuff and not measuring. It's just so much more accurate and I like it better. Okay, I put 2 cups of flour in our bowl and I just want to mix that in. Then we'll add the last cup after this is mixed in. I was gonna make fresh milled flour pizza crust, but I don't really have time in case it doesn't work out. And I've said before that the fresh milled flour is a learning curve, so I decided just to go with this. Okay, I'm gonna let this mix in a little bit, and then we're gonna add 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. You don't want to add the salt right in with the yeast because salt can kill yeast. So I'm going to let this mix until it comes together. Once it comes together, we're going to knead it for about 5 to 6 minutes. If you do not have a stand mixer with a dough hook, you can certainly do all this by hand. We'll come back when it comes together and start the kneading. Okay, all of our dough has come together, so now I'm just going to knead it on either 2 or 3 in the KitchenAid for 5 to 6 minutes. Okay, here is our dough. Normally I would just let it rise in there, but I'm not sure if I need my mixer again, so we're going to just transfer it into a different bowl. Put a little bit of olive oil in. Oh, this is beautiful. Beautiful dough. A little sticky, but that's okay. It'll be fine. It's nice and soft. Okay, I'm just going to swish it around the bowl, get the whole thing covered in olive oil. And then we're going to cover this and we're going to let it rise probably about 45 minutes to an hour until it's doubled in size. You don't want to overproof it. My house is a little chilly, so what I'm going to do is turn the oven on to 200 degrees, let it preheat for 1 minute only and turn it right off just to make a little bit of a warming environment. I do not have a proofing setting on my oven. My oven's 10 years old, and I don't think that was a thing back then, but I just make my own proof setting. Works for me. Okie dokie, we have our cake here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start just decorating a little bit. I am not a cake decorator. I do not pretend to be one, not even a little. I'm just gonna put a little lemon slice, some blueberries, and a little dot of frosting. If I had some edible flowers, I would do that because that would be really pretty, but I don't, so I'm not. And now I'm getting blueberry on the lemon slices, but that's okay. Like I said, not a professional. I think I want the lemon slices to stick up a little bit though. And see, now I'm just making a mess. Couple blueberries. And just a little dollop of icing to hold it all together. I think that looks pretty. I probably should have measured this out. I didn't. Let's see. Okay, not perfect, but guess what? It's gonna do, and it's fine by me. We still have so many blueberries in the freezer from my sister-in-law's blueberry field, blueberry orchard, blueberry bushes, whatever. She's so lucky that they inherited those from the previous owner of their home. because they are very prolific. Okay, that's done, and I still have a lot of icing left. So I think what I'm going to do is just pipe a little border all around it. I'll be back. Okay, it ain't pretty, but it's done. I am not a cake decorator by any means at all, but it's okay. It's done. Hopefully it'll be delicious. I'll let you know tonight after poker. Okay, I'm gonna start on the filling for the cheesesteak Stromboli. Normally I get my chip steak or my shaved steak, whatever you like to call it, at a local deli. But honestly, with Walmart Plus, I am so spoiled. And they had this, and it looks really, really good. So I am impressed. It is so thin and so good looking. So this is what I'm using. It came in a 12-ounce container. Normally I use 2 pounds, but we're just gonna make it a little bit smaller this time. And I think 2 pounds is, yeah, so that's what I use, 2 pounds, yeah. It cooks down a lot, but this will be fine. I just got 2 containers, so I have 24 ounces. But it is really, really nice. I'm very impressed. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just get this in the pan, kind of breaking it up a little bit. And we're just gonna let this cook till it's completely done. And then we'll just set it aside until we are ready to put our Stromboli together. Once it cooks, I'm going to drain any fat that's in there. And once I drain the fat, I'll season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. But that's all. Nothing big, just a little bit. Nothing fancy. Real Philly cheesesteaks do not have, you know, funky cheeses or peppers or anything like that on it. Oh, I should make some fried onions though. That's Philly cheesesteak, fried onions. But yeah, like I always see these Philly cheesesteak recipes with peppers, like green bell peppers. No one. There's no Philly cheesesteak in Philly that puts green pepper on cheesesteaks. So all that's going on this is salt, pepper, and I think I will make up some fried onions. We'll see. Depends on my mood. But I'm going to let this all really cook nice and brown. And then while that's doing that, I'm going to go and put in a couple more recipes. This guy is out there. We had these chickens out free ranging, but we put them in because Doug wanted to mow the lawn, or I should say mow the weeds. Because yeah, it's pretty much what it is. But it is what it is. I'm not going to put any weed killer or fertilizer, anything like that down. You know that's just not us, so it is what it is. But he'll get that done. He loves mowing the lawn. Hey, whatever. If you love it, that's great. Especially on a day like this when it's not too hot, not too cold, pretty much perfect for these kind of outdoor chores. To me, it's a little chilly, but I guess not when you're moving up and down. He's dumping all of the grass clippings over into the corner, and then we'll use that to mulch around all the plants once we plant the garden. Okay, so I was wrong. These are 14-ounce containers, so that's good. And look at this, ingredients. Beef. Nothing else in it. No fillers, no oils, nothing. So it's really cooking up beautifully. So I definitely recommend this if you're making something like this. It is the Old Neighborhood brand. And I got it at Walmart. I mentioned draining it. There is absolutely nothing to drain. Nothing. It is so lean. I am super duper impressed with this. Really am. So I will definitely get this again. And I believe the price is comparable to the deli. I'll double check that, but I am super impressed with this. Coach Andrew just got home from a track meet. Of course, he has his Mount Track and Field shirt on, not his Gloucester Catholic.
I don't have one.
Oh, you had a jacket on.
I wear the hoodie.
Yes, you had a jacket
I have a
on.
hoodie that's an old hoodie that I love to wear because it's like a mix between like a rain jacket with my hair.
Right.
Mix between like a rain jacket and a windbreaker,
Right.
so it's really nice.
So how'd the track meet go, sir?
Went well. I had kids PR. We had the girls.
PR means they got a personal record.
So they did better than they've done before. I had the thrower girls came 5th place in javelin, which is fantastic. We were not expecting placement. And then our 2 relays got 3rd and 5th place, which we weren't expecting at all either. So it was actually a really, really good day.
Good day for the Rams.
Good day for the Rams, yes.
Excellent.
And we were not the smallest school there. Holy Cross was.
Oh, there you go. Excellent. Where was the meet? Oh, Haddon Township.
Haddon Township.
This was a really big meet. Am I right?
This was the 43rd Rawling Relays. They've been doing this 43 years. It was usually just all women. It was a women's event only. And then they started incorporating this novice, freshman, sophomore men's field competition after the women's field competition completed. So it was men through shot put, discus, and jav,
Nice.
which was actually really nice because our men were able to, get more practice in meets. So that was a good thing.
Well, congratulations, Coach Andrew. Good job.
Thank you. I tried.
Adam had a meet today, too, but it was like 6 hours away from us.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it was up in Laredo.
Okay.
So Adam did not PR, but he came in with a beautiful time of 4:33. Bella PR'd by 2 seconds. So good day for the mountain kids, too. So now time to keep moving here. Okay. Next up, I'm just doing up some onions to put in with the cheesesteak stromboli. Okie dokie. Took the dough out of the bowl, punched it down, took it out of the bowl. Now we're just going to shape it up. We want to do a nice rectangle. Get my trusty rolling pin. And we are just going to make a nice rectangle. Get that dough stretched out. Get that gluten relaxed. I do this every time. I need to do it this way. I was just watching a funny Instagram reel. There's this account, I think it's called I Spy Antiques, EYE. I don't think I subscribe to it. It just pops up because I've watched him before. It's this hysterical guy who makes some vintage recipes. Like, oh my gosh, the one he made today, he took a whole loaf of like some kind of bologna. It's like a square loaf. It almost looked like pickle loaf or something. And it was somebody sent him in the recipe. He cored out the loaf, like made a big cavity in it. And then like made this mushy pea gelatin mixture and put it in there. Oh my gosh, it was hysterical. He was gagging the whole time. And I would have been too. Okay, I made that really big, but that's okay. Let's get the filling. Okay, I did not do enough onions, but it is what it is. I just mixed the onions right in with the meat. It'll be fine. Now we're just going to spread the meat out over the dough. Yeah, I made the dough a little bit big. It is what it is. I don't stress about things like that. I know it'll taste good. That's all I worry about. Gordon Ramsay is not here to tell me it looks like crap, so we're good. Okay. Just going to get it nice and spread out evenly. Then we are going to use good old deli sliced American cheese. Normally I would, I don't know, get some good, like a good cheddar or something, but we're just going to use American because it's Philly cheesesteak. And if you're doing a Philly cheesesteak, you're doing American or you're doing whiz. Cheese whiz. Okay, that looks good. Let's get out the cheese. Oh, Aria heard the word cheese. She's here. Now, we like our cheesesteaks cheesy. It's called a cheesesteak for a reason. Oh, this is a hot mess. So we are just gonna slap some cheese on it. I believe this is 1/2 pound of American. Oh, wow, they did a really bad job slicing it. Really bad job. But that's okay. For this purpose, doesn't matter. Okay, good enough. Once again, I kind of rolled it wrong because now I wish I had gone the other way. So we are just going to now roll this up jelly roll style, and make sure that you let the meat not be hot, because if the meat's hot, it's going to, mine's still a little warm. That's why I thought about that. It's going to melt your dough, and we don't want that to happen. So definitely cook that earlier on, because yeah, mine's still a little too warm, but it is what it is. Just a hot mess today, aren't I? Yes, I am. Yes, you are, Joni. Yes, you are. I don't know why I watch you, Joni, because you are a hot mess. If I wanted to see a hot mess, there's a whole lot of other people I could watch. Okay. Let me get a cookie sheet. That's going to be too small. Okay. We're going to just tuck in the ends here. And then we're going to just pinch the seam to keep it together. Tuck in the other end. Then we're going to attempt to plop this baby right on the cookie sheet without too much damage. It is not a good one, my friends. It is not a good one. Not even a little bit. You know what? I'm not even going to, I was going to try to turn it over. I'm not, because it's just going to fall apart. We're just going to do it like this. I rolled it a little thin because I was talking and not paying attention. But you know what? It's going to taste good. It's my family. I don't need to impress them. And I didn't get all the air out. So we're going to give this a little pop. Because we don't want there to be big air sacs in it. Because then when it puffs up in the oven, see, normally I would try to do it tighter. I gotta back to the drawing board on this one. Doug's over here laughing. Look, what do I always say, Doug?
It's real life around here.
It's real life around here. There we go. Is that good enough, babe?
Looks beautiful. Sure, it'll taste delicious.
I'm sure it'll taste delicious. So, there we go. Stop playing with it, Joni. We're just going to let it, I'm just going to let it sit until it's time to cook it. What's wrong? What are you laughing at?
I just saw the weekend edition to it.
Oh, Doug's laughing at the Dougie Do List Weekend Edition. I am not a slave driver. He always says, write down what I need to do because I'm going to forget. And I know it looked like a big list, but seriously, some of the stuff on that list was like
5 minutes.
A 5-minute job, you know, like hanging the flower baskets and putting the new signs on the coop, which I need to go out and show you. Okay, I'm going to stop messing with this. When it comes time, we're going to pop this in the oven at 400 degrees or so. 425, 400, somewhere around there. I don't know, for about 15 minutes until it looks golden. We'll just eat it with a knife and fork. So a local farm stand had strawberries. These are 2 pounds each. So 8 pounds of strawberries. They had them for $12 a flat. So I picked up 2 of them. So you know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow? Making jam for the market. Last year, my first market, I ran out of strawberry jam, the first market. So I'm going to make more this time and hopefully enough to get me through the first couple in the summer. So that'll be tomorrow's project. What? Good morning. Did not pick up the camera a whole lot last night. Never showed you the finished products. It just, when everybody gets here, it gets so crazy. Hello, Andrew. No, you're good. It gets so crazy and we just start talking and having fun and all that. Remember I was like panicked about the cheesesteak Stromboli? Perfection. Perfection. It did not break open. It was just perfect. And everybody said it was the most delicious one I ever made. So, yay. We had a good time. Who was the big loser last night, Mary?
I lost a buck. I don't know anybody else.
I won $4. Joey won $1.
I think Bill won $1.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of, it was pretty spread out, I think.
I think Stacy and Mary might have lost a little bit.
Yeah, Mary was the big loser, I think.
Yeah.
But we had a good time. We had fun. Good food, good fun. It's all good. And let me tell you, the cake, even
Delicious.
though Andrew, you haven't tried it yet, have you?
No, the cake? No.
Andrew went out last night with friends. He didn't play cards with us. Even though I had to use the wrong size pans, so it wasn't quite as high, it was like perfection. It was so good. And honestly, it looks like a lot of ingredients. It looks like a lot of steps. It really was not hard at all. It really, truly wasn't. So I will definitely link the recipe down in the description box below. And you can check that out. But right now we are headed to 9:30 Mass. Doug is a extraordinary minister of the Eucharist. I am a lector, so I'm going to read my reading over a couple times because there's a lot of places and names in it. They're all easy though, but I like to read it over and over and over. So I will be doing the first reading from the Acts of the Apostles. And Andrew does not have a ministry today because he didn't know what Mass he was going to be going to. And luckily, all the ministry spots are filled. So I guess that's it. And if you saw my menu plan on Friday, I said more than likely we would go out to breakfast this morning. So I'm guessing we are.
Yeah.
And then I got to get home because I have a lot to do. A lot to do. I have, 16 pounds of strawberries that need to be turned into jam. And the jars I ordered did not arrive. They are delayed. So I had to reorder other jars. So they'll be here between 12 and 1. Let me tell you, I am loving this Walmart Plus. Oh, yeah. So that is what I will be spending my afternoon doing. And I hope I have enough pectin. I never checked that. So, yeah. Because I use the Pomona's pectin. And a lot of stores don't carry that. So we'll see. But anyway, that's that. What is that? Oh, look. Look.
Groundhog.
A groundhog. Oh my goodness. The littlest things excite me. And I can't even go squirrel because it's groundhog. Anyway, I will be back and show you breakfast. Look at the size of that breakfast. That is one breakfast. He decided he's going to take that whole thing home and just eat that. There's mine. There's Andrew's. Okay, home from church. Took care of the chickens. I don't know what's going to happen with these eggs. I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't know. We've got the strawberries soaking in a vinegar and water solution. I sanitized the sink. Put the 3 parts water to 1 part vinegar and put the strawberries in there just give them a soak for 20 minutes. Got the canner filling up with hot water. Got jars so we can start jamming. The only thing I'm worried about is this is all the pectin I have left. So I need to get some soon because I'm not sure how much this is going to get me. And like I said, I can't buy this in regular, like they don't just have it at the grocery store like they do the other stuff. So I got to figure it out. But hopefully we will have enough to at least get these done today. I'd love to do a whole nother double batch or another 16 pounds, but we're just going to have to wait and see. So I know I've brought you along for this before, but I'll bring you along again. Okay, we're getting everything set up. I have my jars in the canner and they are heating up. Jam and jellies are done with a water bath canner, not a pressure canner. Now, I can use my pressure canner for water bath canning. I probably should, just so I don't heat up the house today, but I didn't. So I've got my water bath canner going. I've got my jars in there heating up. I've got my little station set up here with my canning funnel, my headspace indicator and debubbling tool, my magnet to get my flats, my jar lifter, a wet rag to wipe the rims, of course our strawberries. And now I'm going to get my jars lids ready. If you watch my channel, you know I am a huge fan of these 4 jars canning lids. I have not had a failed seal yet with them. I absolutely love them. You can feel the difference between these and like other popular lids. These are so much thicker and so much nicer. I always have a discount code down in my description box. If you are interested in 4 jars canning lids, you get 10% off if you use my code. Link and code, it's right down in the description box. Now these lids still need to be heated. I know now with the Kerr and the ball lids, I believe you no longer heat those in a pan of water. But the 4 jars lids, here's the directions. You definitely, let's see if I can get that to focus. You definitely wash the lids and the bands in water, and then you place the lids in a saucepan, cover with water, and bring to a simmer. So these definitely still need to be heated, unlike the ball, which is not a big deal for me. I put them in a little pot on the back of the stove. I don't know, I just feel like it softens that and they get a nice seal. So that's what I'm going to do next, and then we're going to start prepping the strawberries. Okay, I have my cutting board, I have my knife. Now, sometimes I use a strawberry huller. You just, it works wonderfully. It just pulls the hull right out. Let me show you. Or pulls the stem right out. You just take it, and there you go. Quick, easy, wonderful. But because I want more of the berry left on here, I'm actually going to use a knife to cut off the top, and I'm going to just cut off a little bit of the berry with it, because I want to use these to make strawberry simple syrup, so I can make concentrate, and that way I can use that in either fun mixed drinks over the summer, you know, adult drinks, or we love the strawberry lemonade I've been making with the strawberry concentrate I made a couple weeks ago. You saw me make that, I believe. The last time I made strawberry jam, and I am making tons and tons of strawberry jam because of the markets this summer. So that is why I am doing it. But, so yeah, that's why I'm doing it this way, because I want to do double duty here with the strawberries. I have been taking that strawberry simple syrup and freezing it in 1 cup increments and using it in the lemonade. Oh my gosh, we had some last night for poker. It was so delicious. But anyway, I've got my 3 bowls here. The cut strawberries go in this big bowl. This bowl is for any spots that I need to remove, because a couple of these have some bruises. So I will take any bad spots off and put them in that bowl, and that will go to the compost pile. And then This bowl, I'm putting all of the tops in. I'm going to need a bigger bowl. And then once we get done making all the jam, we will make the simple syrup. I don't even have to do it today. I could probably just put that in the fridge and do it. But it's so easy, I honestly don't mind doing it today. So this is the tedious part. Look, see right there, there's a little bit of a bad spot. So I'm just going to take that off and put that in this bowl for compost. And that way, nothing gets wasted. So that is what I am going to be doing for the next little bit. Yeah, for sure. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to catch up on some YouTube videos and see what's going on with everybody. So I will be back when I have something else to show you. Probably the canning process is my guess will be next. Okay, once I get like a nice layer in my big bowl, I like to start crushing them. I don't like to wait until it's full because then they don't crush quite as nicely. So I just take my potato masher and my arm strength and just start crushing up the berries. Now with the Pomona's pectin, you can actually double the recipe. With traditional pectin, they do not advise you to double a recipe because the pectin to fruit ratio gets thrown off. But with the Pomona, you absolutely can double it. So the recipe calls for 4 cups of mashed fruit. So I'm going to be doing 8 cups of mashed fruit in a batch, since you are able to double the Pomona's pectin. When in doubt, just read your directions. Whatever your pectin you're using, whether it be Certo, Pomona, I believe Ball has a pectin. I believe Mrs. Wags or Wages or something. Mrs. Wages, I think it is. Whatever you're using, just read the directions on the box and follow the directions. You've heard me say it before, but I'm going to say it again. I am not a rebel canner. When it comes to canning and safety, I follow all the directions. Cooking is an art, canning is a science. I know there's a lot of people that do not agree with that. I have seen people can things that you're not supposed to can. And you know what? And they say, you know, my rules, my kitchen, my rules, and that's fine. But that's a reason that I don't eat anybody's canned goods except my own, because I just don't know how they were processed, and I don't know if they're a rebel canner or whatever. But anyway, that's just my little TED Talk for today. So there we go. We got that nice and crushed up. And it's easy when it's only the one layer. So I'm going to pour that into my big bowl that has the measurements on the side, so I can keep a good eye when I hit the 8 cups. Right now, I'm just at about 2 cups. Exactly 2 cups. So we got a ways to go. So while I am in the house working on the jam, Andrew and Doug are out here working on Andrew's car. They are putting a new fender liner on his car. Back when we had those like 10 days of rain, Andrew hit a pothole that he did not see because it was filled with water. The circle was flooded, and he broke his fender liner. It's like just a piece of plastic that goes on the well. So he ordered a new one off of Amazon, and they are installing that right now. It is absolutely gorgeous out here. I'm kind of jealous that they're out here working and I'm inside, but that's okay. As you can see, here's a track coach for you. Had to take the javelins out of his car. He's always got throwing implements in there. It's one of the reasons he got an SUV, so he could carry all his track stuff. So these guys are doing good, and yeah, hopefully they're almost done. So in this pot, I have 8 cups of mashed strawberries. Now, the thing that makes Pomona's pectin a little bit different from other pectins, is it is activated using calcium water. Because it is such a low sugar, you need something to activate the pectin. So the calcium water comes with the pectin. It comes in, it's powdered in a little packet, and you just mix it up as you need it. And you can store it in a jar in the fridge for indeterminate amount of time. Now I am doubling this, like I said, so I put in 4 teaspoons of calcium water in with my strawberries, and we are just going to bring this up to a full boil. And while we're waiting for that to come up to a full boil, we're going to prepare our sugar and our pectin. Okay, now we're going to prepare our sugar mixture. So you can use anywhere between a half a cup and a cup of sugar per 4 cups of mashed fruit. So in my bowl here, because it's a double batch, I have 1.5 cups of sugar, 3/4 cups for each batch of strawberries. And then I am going to put my pectin right in there, and I am going to do 4 teaspoons of the pectin. Oops, a little bit left in there. And then I'm going to mix it very, very well. I'm going to really get it incorporated in there with the sugar. Then once those strawberries come up to a boil, we're going to add in our pectin and bring it back up to a boil. But you just want to get it really, really mixed in there well together. Okay, now we wait. Okay, we have our strawberries up to a boil. So we are just going to take our pectin and sugar mixture and just add it in slowly, continually stirring. And then we are just going to stir, stir, stir continuously. And we are going to continue stirring for about 2 to 3 minutes until it comes back to the boil. Once it starts boiling, we are going to turn it off and start canning it up. Okay, I pulled our first jar out of the canner. And now we are just going to put our canning funnel on top, and we are going to add our jam, and we want to go to 1/4 inch headspace, and 1/4 inch is that very, very top line on your jar. You can also use your headspace tool to measure. Then we are going to debubble. Just kind of run something plastic. You shouldn't use metal because it may break the glass. When I couldn't find my debubbling tool, I used a chopstick, and that worked. We're just going to wipe the rim because that's going to help with your seal. We're going to put our jar lid on, put the ring on until it is fingertip tight, and that's going right back in the canner to stay warm while we get the next one out. Always remember with canning, hot food in hot jars, cold food in cold jars. But everything's pretty much hot, I believe. I've never canned meat. I know there's different ways of canning meat. It's one thing I have not gotten into yet. I don't know why. It just kind of freaks me out. There we go. 2 down. Several more to go. So I'm going to go get those done and then let you know what our next step is. Okay, I got 10 half-pint jars out of that. So I am going to now put the lid on this, put it back on high. We're going to bring it to a boil, and we are going to process it for 10 minutes. Okay, after 10 minutes, I shut off the heat, took off the lid, and set the timer for 5 minutes. Once the 5 minutes is up, we will take them out, put them on a towel, and let them sit for 24 hours. Okay, the last batch of jam is in the canner. So now I am taking all our strawberry tops. It was 8 cups. I have them in a pot with 8 cups of water and 1 cup of sugar. And I am going to bring this up to a boil, then turn it down and let it simmer for 15 to 20 minutes until the liquid is nice and deep red colored. Halfway through, I'm probably going to taste it for sugar taste. The last time I made this, I followed the directions, and it was so sweet, like we felt our teeth rotting. So I cut way back on the sugar, so I may need to adjust it, but we'll have some beautiful, simple syrup when we are done. Okay, so there is the concentrate. I forgot to film it after it was done cooking. I just put a big bowl in the sink, put a colander in it, dump it in, and that is it. No fuss, no muss. And then I just have it cooling here in jars. And then I'll refrigerate it overnight. And then tomorrow I will freeze it in my super cubes. And we'll use that through the summer to make some strawberry lemonade. So friends, that is going to be it for my weekend vlog. I am spent. I am so tired. I didn't record dinner because, well, we ate leftovers. We ate the leftover food from poker last night. I was not hungry. I was still really full from breakfast. So I just had a crab ball and a couple pieces of cheese and crackers. I'm really not hungry, but I do want tea. So I'm going to make a pot of tea right now. Doug is just finishing up out in the garden, I believe. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, he put the the irrigation hoses out. So he was busy all day. I was busy all day. Andrew was busy all day. Say some prayers for Andrew. He applied for a summer job because he does need to work this summer. He is not a teacher who has been in the profession for years that can afford to take off over the summer. So he just applied for a job today. I'll let you know what happens. I guess that's it. So now I am going to make some tea. And I am going to sit with Mr. Andrew over there, and I'm going to help him make the program for First Holy Communion next week. He's the director of religious ed. Remember, I told you that before. At the church associated with the school he teaches at. And this coming weekend's First Holy Communion for his second graders. So we need to do the program and the certificate. So I'm going to sit and help him with that. It should go pretty quickly. And then I'm calling it a night. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon and talk to you later.